Stop whatever you're doing and pay close attention, because John Thune just made the fatal mistake of crossing Donald Trump, and the political execution was brutal. The Senate floor turned into an absolute war zone as establishment Republicans turned their backs on the leadership, ending Thune's career as we know it. This isn't just news, it is a complete political execution. If you are sick and tired of politicians lying to your face and you want the raw, uncensored truth delivered every single day, hit that subscribe button immediately. Smash subscribe right now. Do not scroll past this, because once this video ends, you'll want to be the first to get the updates as this GOP meltdown worsens. Subscribe right now, because this next part changes everything.
Disgusting. Donald Trump just called President Obama a, quote, stupid son of a bitch in front of world leaders at the G7 summit in France.
Of it, like, oh my God, look at this money he's giving us. He tried to bribe his way out. I didn't do that. Nobody mentions that. 1.7 billion and hundreds of millions of dollars. They tried to bribe their way out of it. And you know what the Iranians did? They laughed at Obama and they said he's a stupid son of a bitch. Okay, thank you very much, everybody.
Yeah, let's blame Obama for not getting us into a war with Iran. By the way, Obama hasn't been in office for over 10 years now. Meanwhile, Donald Trump is planning on giving Iran $300 billion. $300 billion for reconstruction to rebuild their country after we spent around $1 to $2 billion a day bombing it, blowing up children in it. For what? Donald Trump said we had to get the enriched uranium. Now he says it's not very valuable.
Trump just went on Fox News and doubled down on saying he doesn't care about the Americans and their financial situation. This was after 2 days of all the MAGA morons saying that they don't, that he was taken out of context, that he didn't really mean that. Britt Bear, boy, he was trying everything. He was trying everything to say, please, please say this was taken out of context. And Trump's just like, no, that's exactly what I said. I got the clip right here. Here it is.
Democrats and political pundits jumped all over this statement that you made the other day. You were asked when you were leaving.
What extent are American financial situations motivating you to make a deal?
Not even a little bit. The only thing that matters when I'm talking about Iran, they can't have a nuclear weapon. I don't think about American financial situation. I don't think about anybody. I think about one thing. We cannot let Iran have a nuclear weapon. That's all.
That's right. That's a perfect statement. I'd make it again.
You can imagine how many people stopped the soundbite I don't think about America's financial situation. So what's your response to that framework?
It's very simple. When people hear me say it, everybody agrees. Short-term pain. It's going to be short-term pain. But the pain is much less.
He just makes y'all look like fools over and over and over again. And y'all just keep coming back to drink from the trough. I fucking love it. I fucking love it. Because y'all can't get enough of it. And I can't get enough of it either. Oh, man. Every day is something else. Y'all just have to keep saying it's okay, keep making excuses for him, and then he just comes right back over you and says, no, that's exactly what I did. That's exactly what I mean. What y'all gonna say? Is it AI finally now? Is that what y'all gonna say? Y'all be good.
$200 billion is what Donald Trump and this trash administration is requesting from the American people to continue this unlawful, unjustified war against Iran. Said in front of the Prime Minister of Japan that it is a small cost to pay. That gas pump, where gas is soon to be $5 a gallon, ain't a small cost. The fact that the American people lost billions of dollars for Medicaid and Medicare is not a small cost. The fact that American lives are being lost in this unjustified war is not a small cost. The fact that this president was willing to allow people to starve during the first government shutdown is not a small cost. And his unwillingness to fund SNAP benefits, all because he was trying to save the tax people money. But you want $200 billion to put more of American lives at risk for this unjustified war that's being fought on Israel's behalf. This is the type of hocus pocus nonsense that I be talking about. This is the type of shit that we mean when we say elections have consequences. And I don't give a rat's ass what anybody says. If Kamala was sitting in that White House right now, we wouldn't be dealing with this shit.
So Donald Trump said the thing. He finally said it.
I'm pleased to announce my intention to, and this is somewhat of a scoop, my intention to run for a fourth term as President of the United States. I won 3 times. Now I'm going to do it again.
Donald Trump has announced his intention to run for a 3rd term as president. He said 4th term because he believes that he won in 2020. Either way, it's unconstitutional. But does that even matter anymore? And what's the historical precedent? Well, we've had 47 presidencies and only one man has served more than 2 terms, and that was FDR. Between George Washington and FDR, there was an unwritten rule that no man would serve more than 2 terms. George Washington set that precedent because that would be too much of a concentration of power. FDR was president between 1933 and 1945. He was elected 4 times because during that time, we had the Great Depression, we had World War II, and the American public basically said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. He's leading us through these turbulent times. Let him keep doing it. Would have served the entire 16 years, but he would die 82 days into his 4th term. And despite his intentions, many people still had a huge problem with him being elected 4 times. And less than 2 years after his death, the 22nd Amendment was passed, which limits a president to 2 terms in office. And I'm not even surprised. If you've been following this Donald Trump presidency, he's been laying these seeds on the ground for a while. Oh, what happens next?
With communism, everything turns to shit, okay? It's true. Terrible thing. It's true. My wife hates it when I do that. She said, you were doing so nicely, and then you had to use a foul word. You know, Franklin Graham wrote me a letter. President Trump, I love your speeches. I think they're great. But, sir, if you wouldn't use foul language, the speeches would even be better. And I wrote him back. I said, actually, frankly, they wouldn't, because there's like no word that can replace that word with respect to the subject matter that we're talking about, right? But that's all right. But I try hard. I try hard to keep them clean. But it's true. With communism, everything turns. You people have no idea how lucky you are. When I'm gone, you're all going to be broke. Your business model is going to be finished. No, it's true. When I'm not around, you're going to be broke. There's not going to be anybody to report on. Nobody gives a damn about anybody else.
Donald Trump is the most corrupt president in American history. He's using the White House to enrich himself and his family, to obstruct justice, and to reward his friends and sycophants. But it doesn't have to be this way. Republicans just need to stand up to Trump. No more excuses. Let's start by calling out his crypto grift. Trump's crypto ventures, World Liberty Financial, and Trump Meme Coin have generated more than $800 million cash and allowed Trump to double his net worth. The ethical concerns are glaring. These ventures attracted investments from foreign nationals and entities seeking to curry favor with the Trump administration. And the Wild West nature of the crypto industry makes these pay-to-play deals a lot harder to track. And if that isn't concerning enough, Trump is also using presidential powers to pump up the crypto industry and his buddies. Since becoming president, Trump has eliminated critical investor protections. He's dismissed enforcement actions or investigations into crypto companies that have supported him. And he continues to undermine the Department of Justice, the Securities and Exchange Commission, and other agencies responsible for tracking bad actors. Trump is using his office to make huge riches for himself and his children, all while everyday Americans continue to struggle just to pay for groceries and electricity. Then there are the serious concerns surrounding his dealings with foreign entities. Earlier this year, the Qatari government offered Trump a luxury Boeing jet. He accepted the foreign gift with no regard for the ethical, legal, or security concerns. He wants to use this gift as the new Air Force One while he's in office, but when he leaves, he'll keep it for personal use after the American taxpayers have paid to retrofit the plane up to Air Force One security standards. Responsible estimates suggest this is going to cost us, taxpayers, upwards of $1 billion. That's right. Donald Trump wants taxpayers to pay for a jet that will ultimately become his personal property. Democrats in the Senate led an effort to stop this waste of taxpayer funds, but Republicans blocked the effort. And this isn't the only foreign relationship Trump is leveraging for personal profit. Trump and his family continue to negotiate real estate and licensing deals in Saudi Arabia. Since Trump was elected, at least 4 Trump-branded developments have been announced in Saudi Arabia. This is in addition to many more deals before his election. Trump is earning vast sums of money from Saudis, and what do they get out of it? F-35 fighter jets, America's best and most advanced fighter jet. Our intelligence community has warned that this is a terrible idea, but it's the least Trump could do to pay them back. These are just a few examples of Trump and his administration working to enrich the Trump family, administration members, and prominent supporters and donors. It's the worst corruption our country has ever seen. But it doesn't have to be this way. Congress must absolutely investigate this blatant corruption and enact reforms to restore accountability and integrity to the presidency. All of this is possible, but only if Republicans are willing to do something about it and stand up to Trump. Please, my Republican colleagues,
Donald Trump failed to build the wall. Donald Trump failed to have Mexico pay for the part of the wall he did build. Donald Trump failed at his immigration policy so badly in his first term, he ran again saying he fixed the problem. He failed to fix the first time. Donald Trump failed to introduce an infrastructure bill despite saying he'd have one in 2 weeks repeatedly. Donald Trump failed to introduce a health care bill despite a press conference where he had stacks of paper he said was the health care bill. Donald Trump failed to end the war in Ukraine in 24 hours. Donald Trump failed to end it in 10 months. Donald Trump has failed to get a ceasefire. Donald Trump has failed to keep Ukrainians from being murdered at a higher rate under his presidency. Donald Trump has failed our allies who are now not ordering planes from American companies because of his foreign policy failures. Donald Trump failed to keep us from bombing a country unprovoked and then failed at the bombing so badly he's still trying to get a deal done with Iran. Donald Trump is failing at preventing a genocide in Gaza. Donald Trump is failing economically. Bank of America says that spending in the U.S. is down in dining, hotels, and airfare 3 months in a row for the first time since 2008 when the economy crashed. Soybean farmers in Nebraska are losing billions of dollars to China because he's failed at his foreign policy with tariffs, but he's also failing at tariffs because he tacoed again and pushed tariffs with China down the tracks 90 more days. Donald Trump failed to balance the budget. Donald Trump failed to reduce the deficit. Donald Trump failed to protect constitutional rights of due process. Donald Trump has failed to uphold his oath. Donald Trump is a failure.
On the filibuster, Mr. President, you posted a lot about wanting to eliminate the filibuster. It hasn't happened. Are you disappointed in leadership?
Yeah, no, I'm disappointed. I like John a lot, but he has a couple of Republicans that are foolish people. A couple of them I like, a couple of them I can't stand, actually, if you want to know the truth. Although I am, according to CNN, 100% approval within the Republican Party. That's better than your record, Gary. I'm at 100% approval. Did you see the CNN poll? Nobody talks about it. CNN, I think the people that did that poll probably got fired. But within the Republican Party in MAGA, which is basically 100% of the party, I think, but 100%. No, I think that you're going to see some very interesting things. The filibuster, if you had it, we should have the Save America Act. We should have voter identification, voter ID. We should have proof of citizenship. We should have mail-in voting for the military and people that need it, but not for everybody. Because anytime you have mail-in voting, they're going to cheat. And they cheat like dogs. And they have to cheat. You know, in all fairness to the Democrats, when you have men and women sports, when you have open borders, when you have transgender mutilization, don't listen to this, kids, of your children, transgender mutilization of your children for everyone. When you have policies like that, you have to cheat. It's the only way they can win. And we shouldn't allow them to cheat. And we should terminate the filibuster, because if they get the chance, they'll do it in the first hour back. Yeah.
About Iran, what is the exit strategy?
Well, I think there's a lot of them. There's a military exit where we just keep going just the way we are, and we can even make it a heavier dose, and it's knocking out everything they have. Or there's a smarter strategy, and that's you make a deal, and they want to make a deal. I just don't think they're ready yet, but they do want to make a deal. Sometimes they don't want to say they want to make a deal. They want to be the tough guys, but they do want to make a deal. There's two ways. I mean, it's you can just keep doing exactly what we're doing and take them apart piece by piece. We can do it in a more rapid fashion, which we might do, or we can negotiate with them, which we're also doing right now. I mean, as we speak, we're talking to them.
Nobody's got the laser focus of one Donald Trump. Let's go to the president at the White House today giving brief remarks about the war before a Medal of Honor ceremony.
Right from the beginning, we projected 4 to 5 weeks, but we have capability to go far longer than that, we'll do it. Whatever somebody said today, they said, oh, well, the president wants to do it really quickly. After that, he'll get bored. I don't get bored.
Laser focused. You sure don't get bored? You're not some 3-year-old that gets easily distracted by something shiny on the wall.
We have a lot of great service members here with us, too, in this beautiful building. Isn't it beautiful? We're adding on to the building a little bit. We're improving the building. See that nice drape? I picked those drapes in my first term. I always like gold, but I think we can save a lot of money. I just saved curtains. But, and it'll be spectacular. It'll be the most beautiful ballroom. I believe it because I built many a ballroom. I believe it's going to be the most beautiful ballroom anywhere in the world.
Can't believe it. Our bombs are now smarter than our president. So, well, easy. Little time. Anyway, back to the war. So will any congressional leaders be more forthcoming with the American people? Is anybody going to let the American people in on the plan here?
Is there a plan? Does the president have a plan to guarantee that that happens?
No, it's not his job or my job to do this. How many times do I have to tell you?
Why are you trying to ruin my war? Why? I just started it. I'm having such a good time. I bought a new suit and shiny shoes. The kind you put a nickel in for good luck in my war. Now, if you excuse me, I have some celebrity canapes and a lime Ricky with my name on it. Good day. I said good day. This is Trump's America. Maybe I'm old-fashioned. But even regimes I disagreed with respected the American people enough or felt some obligation to at least lie to us in prime time. Did anybody get filled in on this?
An Israeli military official I spoke to told me that there were thousands of hours of planning between U.S. and Israeli military officials.
Oh, anything for the bombing buddy Bibi. You told Israel more than you told us. But like giving a hand job on your birthright trip, it was a secret that stayed in Israel. Yeah. They did it. They know. On the bus, under the blanket, they know. But all this parsing is meaningless in the first place. We can expose their hypocrisy and contradictions and arrogance till we're blue in the Congress. The right doesn't care. They supported Trump for a very particular reason.
A vote for Kamala Harris is a vote for war. A vote for Donald Trump is a vote for a man who wants to end wars.
The president has a commitment to peace, frankly, unlike anything we have seen.
He is the great deal maker, the art of the deal. He can negotiate the end of wars around the world.
He is America's deal maker in chief. He leads from a position of securing peace through strength.
That's why they voted for him. The doctrine, peace through strength. And now they support Trump for a very different reason.
The president's not afraid to take action with hard power when necessary.
We have a president that has finally shown the strength and boldness that is needed.
The Iranian government found out what the Trump doctrine is all about, and that is mess around and find out.
Donald Trump has the guts, the balls, and the vision to do things that nobody else will do.
I'm going to leave the balls thing alone for now. But how quickly the right has gone from peace through strength to peace through war. And we're all just along for the ride in a war with no clear purpose, no end in sight. It's all just at the whims of Donald Trump. You know what I need right now? My comfort monkey. I need my comfort monkey. It actually works. You know, I went after poor Punch pretty hard last week. Said some things. But I get it now. This does help a lot. By the way, it was crazy. They were sold out. And this might get me in a little bit of trouble. I had to go to Ichikawa and take this from Punch.
The deal between Trump and Iran cements the fact that this war was the biggest foreign policy disaster in the last 20 years. I want this war to be over. And I knew the terms were going to be humiliating, but I didn't think they were going to be this humiliating. Here's what this deal basically is. Iran makes 0 concessions, and the United States lets Iran trade oil for free and commits to give them $300 billion in reparations. This deal is essentially Iran's terms, and it is going to make any future nuclear negotiations practically impossible, because by releasing the oil sanctions now, you have very little leverage to get Iran to commit to do anything later on their nuclear program. This is the price of incompetence. This is the price of people cosplaying diplomats. You've got the president's son-in-law and a real estate developer in charge of these negotiations, and this is what you get. A deal in which Iran commits to nothing, and the United States effectively just pays Iran hundreds of billions of dollars to end the war. 13 Americans dead. $60 billion of your taxpayer money wasted for nothing. America gets nothing out of this agreement. Iran gets billions. I want the war to end. These guys are digging the hole deeper and deeper every day. Americans want this war to end. It's cost them billions of dollars at the pump. This deal makes 2 things perfectly clear. One, this war was just a total, epic, embarrassing disaster for the country. And 2, the Iran hawks who have been telling us that if we just bomb Iran, we'll get a good deal from them, have always been wrong, and they're now proven wrong.